Hello, and welcome to Soul Talk. I'm so glad you're here today. This is a safe space for you. No pressure, no judgment, okay? I want to talk about something many of you feel deeply. You understand English very well. You watch videos, read messages, and follow conversations easily. But when it's time to speak, your mind goes completely blank. Your heart starts beating faster. Words just disappear from memory. You know what you want to say, but nothing comes out clearly. Does this sound familiar to you? You're not alone in this feeling. I've been there too, trust me. And I want you to stay with me, because today is a little special. I tried something that scared me. I spoke only English for a day. 24 hours, no breaks, no switching back to my language, just English, all day, all night. I was nervous before I started. What if I make too many mistakes? What if people don't understand? What if I sound silly or awkward? But I decided to try it anyway. And what happened surprised me. It changed how I see speaking now. I want to share that with you, not to make you feel pressured, but to help you feel braver, to show you that fear is normal and progress is always possible. So let's go step by step together. Take a breath, relax your shoulders. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be here, willing. That's already a big, brave step. Let's begin this journey together. So, why do we freeze when speaking? Let's talk about that honestly. It's not because you're not smart. It's not because English is hard. The real reason is much simpler. It's about fear, not ability. You're afraid of making mistakes. You're afraid people will judge. You think your English isn't ready, so you stay silent, just listening. And that silence becomes a habit. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you're at a restaurant. The waiter asks, "What would you like?" You know the answer in your head, but your brain starts translating. You try to find the perfect words. You worry about your pronunciation. And by the time you want to speak, the waiter has already moved on. Or think about answering the phone. Someone speaks English to you. You understand every single word, but when it's your turn to reply, your mouth feels heavy and slow. You stumble, pause, or just avoid. This happens to so many learners. And here's what I want you to know. This is not a talent problem. This is just a habit problem. You've learned to stay quiet safely. Your brain thinks silence protects you, but silence also stops your growth. Speaking isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing to try. Even if your sentence is broken, even if you pause or repeat words, that's still real communication. That's still you making progress. You don't need to sound like a native. You just need to express yourself. And guess what? Most people are kind. They want to understand you too. They're not sitting there judging. They're just listening, like you do. So the pressure you feel inside, most of it comes from your own mind. The world outside is much gentler. Now, let me ask you something softly. What if the problem is smaller than you've been thinking? What if one day of trying changes how you see yourself as a speaker? Let's keep going. You're doing great. Let's talk about some false beliefs, things your mind tells you quietly. My English is bad. I can't speak. People will laugh if I make mistakes. I need more grammar before I try. These thoughts feel so real, right? But they're not the full truth. Let me explain this gently for you. Your brain is trying to protect you. When you feel fear or pressure, your brain slows down your speech. It's like a safety lock that clicks. This happens to everyone, not just you. Even native speakers freeze sometimes when they're nervous or stressed out. It's not about your English level. It's about how much pressure you feel. Now, here's the beautiful truth. Mistakes are not signs of failure. Mistakes are actually signs of trying. Every mistake means you're practicing. Every pause means you're thinking. Every broken sentence is still progress. You don't learn to swim by reading. You learn by getting in the water. Speaking English works the same way. You can't wait until you're ready, because ready never really comes. Fluency grows from use, not silence. It grows when you speak, even badly. It grows when you try, even slowly. The more you use your English voice, the easier it becomes to speak. So let's change how we see mistakes. A mistake is just information. It shows you what to practice next. It's not something to feel ashamed of. It's just part of the learning path. Now imagine something with me. What if you removed all pressure just for one single day of speaking? No one correcting you constantly, no one expecting you to be perfect. Just you, using English freely to express your thoughts and feelings. What if that one day showed you that speaking isn't as scary as it seems? What if you realized your English is already good enough to communicate? That's exactly what I wanted to test, and that's why I tried this challenge. I wanted to see what happens when fear is replaced with action. Stay with me. I'll tell you soon how that day really went for me. Let me share one powerful idea. It changed everything for me. Here it is, written simply. Speak to express, not to impress. Read that again, slowly in your mind. Speak to express, not to impress. What does this really mean for you? It means your goal is not perfection. Your goal is just to share a thought, to communicate what you feel or need. That's it, nothing more than that. When you try to impress people, you start worrying about every word. You try to sound smart or fluent. You put so much pressure on yourself, and that pressure blocks your speech. But when you focus on expressing, you relax and speak more naturally. You care more about the message and less about how it sounds. This is how children learn to speak. They don't worry about grammar rules. They just say what they want to say. And slowly, their speech gets better. You can learn the same way too. Now let me explain the challenge, the 24-hour English-only challenge. The rules were very, very simple. For one full day, I spoke only English. No translating back to my language, no stopping to find perfect words. If I didn't know a word, I described it. If I made a mistake, I kept going. I talked to myself, to my family, to shopkeepers, to anyone I met. I even thought in English all day. Was it easy? No, not at all. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. But it taught me something important. My English was better than I thought. I could communicate when I relaxed. People understood me just fine, and mistakes didn't ruin anything. The biggest change was my expectation. I stopped expecting myself to be perfect. I gave myself permission to try, to sound unclear, to pause, to repeat. And the moment I gave that permission, speaking became so much easier. Because the real block wasn't my English. The real block was my own fear, the fear of not being good enough. But good enough for what, really? For real life, simple English works. You don't need fancy words or accent. You just need to be willing to speak. So here's what I want you to try. Change your goal before you speak. Don't aim to sound like a native. Aim to share what's in your heart. That's expression, and that's enough. When you do this, something shifts. Your body relaxes, your mind clears, words come easier even if imperfect, and that's when real progress begins. Now let me tell you what happened during my 24 hours of speaking English, the moments that surprised me most, and what I learned from each one. So what can you do starting today? Let me give you one simple habit. It's safe, it's private, it's easy. You can try it right at home. Here's what I want you to do. Spend 10 minutes speaking to yourself. Yes, I mean talking out loud, alone, not in your head, but with your voice. This might feel a little strange, but it's one of the best ways to practice. Let me explain why this works so well. When you speak only in your mind, you skip the hardest part of speaking. The hardest part is using your mouth, forming sounds, controlling your breath, and hearing your own English voice. Speaking out loud trains all of that. It makes your mouth comfortable with the rhythm and sounds of English. And because you're alone, there's no fear. No one is listening or judging you. You can make as many mistakes as you want. You can pause, repeat, and start again. It's your safe space to practice freely. So when should you do this practice? I recommend doing it in the morning, maybe right after you wake up, or while you're getting ready for the day. You can talk about anything simple. Describe what you see around you. I'm standing in my room right now. The walls are painted light blue. There's a window on my left side. Or talk about your plans for the day. Today, I need to finish some work. I also want to call my friend later. Maybe I'll cook something new tonight. You can even describe your feelings. I feel a little tired this morning, but I'm also excited to learn today. Keep your sentences short and clear. Don't worry about making them fancy. The goal is just to keep speaking. Let your voice flow without stopping. If you forget a word, that's okay. Just describe it in a different way, or use a simpler word that you know. This teaches your brain to keep going instead of freezing when something's hard. Now here's something really important. Speak slowly. There's no need to rush. Fluency doesn't mean speaking fast. Fluency means speaking with confidence, even if your speed is slow and calm. So take your time with every word. Pause when you need to think a bit. Let your breath support your voice. This is how you build real confidence, not by sounding perfect or quick, but by feeling comfortable as you speak. Do this every single day, okay? Even if it's just for 10 minutes. Consistency is more powerful than speed. Small daily actions create big changes. In 1 week, you'll notice something. Your voice will sound less shaky. Words will come a little faster. You'll feel less afraid to speak. And in 1 month, the difference will be clear and easy to see. You'll start speaking in real situations with more calmness and less panic. This is how confidence really grows, not by waiting until you're ready, but by practicing a little every day. So let's make a promise together now. Start tomorrow morning or even tonight. Speak to yourself for 10 minutes. You don't need anyone else to start. You already have everything you need. Small actions create big confidence. Remember that and keep going forward. Let me say something again, softly. You are already good enough to try. Your English doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be used, spoken, tried. Every time you speak, even just a little, you are building strength inside yourself. Speaking is like lifting a small weight. At first, it feels heavy and hard, but if you do it every single day, it becomes lighter, easier, natural. Your confidence grows the same way, too. Not all at once, but step by step. So please be patient with yourself. Don't compare your voice to others. Don't expect yourself to sound fluent after just a few days of trying. Real progress takes time and practice, but it will come, I promise you that. Now let's talk about pauses again. Pausing when you speak is not bad. It's actually a sign of thinking. Even native speakers pause all the time. They pause to choose the right word. They pause to breathe and stay calm. So if you pause, that's completely normal. It doesn't mean your English is weak. It just means you're being thoughtful, and that's a beautiful thing to do. Also, let's talk about repeating words. Sometimes you'll say the same word twice, or you'll start a sentence over again. That's okay too, don't worry about it. Repetition is part of real conversation. It happens when we're thinking out loud. It's human, it's natural, it's fine. So stop trying to sound like a recording. You're allowed to sound like a person who's learning and trying. That's more honest and more beautiful. Now I want you to listen carefully. Listen to English every single day. Watch videos, listen to podcasts, or even listen to yourself speaking. Listening helps your brain learn rhythm. It shows you how sentences flow naturally, and the more you listen with attention, the easier it becomes to speak clearly. But don't just listen passively, okay? Try to repeat what you hear sometimes. Say the sentences out loud after them. Copy the tone, the pauses, the feeling. This is called shadowing, and it helps. It trains your mouth and your confidence. You're not just hearing English anymore. You're also using it with your own voice. That's real practice, and it works well. So here's what I want you to remember. You are already learning by trying. Every word you speak is progress made. Every mistake is a lesson learned quietly. You don't need to be afraid anymore. You just need to keep showing up daily and trust that your voice will grow stronger. Because it will. I've seen it happen, and I believe it will happen for you too. So let me share what I learned from my 24 hours of speaking English. I learned that fear was bigger than the actual challenge itself. I thought people would judge me harshly, but they didn't. They were kind and patient. I thought I'd struggle with every sentence, but I found words when I stayed calm. I thought my English wasn't ready yet, but it was enough to communicate clearly. The biggest lesson was this one. Fluency isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing to continue. It's about showing up every single day, even when you feel scared or unsure. And that's exactly what you're doing now. By watching this video, you're learning. By listening to my words, you're growing. Speak to yourself for 10 minutes. Listen to English with full attention. Repeat sentences out loud without fear. These small actions will add up quickly, and one day you'll look back and realize you're speaking with so much more confidence. Now I want to invite you gently to subscribe to Soul Talk English. This is a space where you belong, a space where mistakes are welcomed, a space where your growth is celebrated. I'll be here every week with new lessons to support you on this journey forward. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. And if this video helped you today, please leave a comment below and share. Tell me how you're feeling right now. Tell me what you'll practice tomorrow. I read every comment and I care deeply. You're not alone in this journey, okay? We're learning and growing together here. Now take a deep breath and smile softly. You've made it through this whole video. That's already a sign of your commitment. Keep going. Keep speaking, keep believing. You don't need to be perfect at all. You just need to continue showing up. And I'll be right here cheering for you. Thank you so much for being here today. I'll see you in the next lesson soon. Until then, be kind to yourself, always. You're doing better than you think, truly.